Hi, and welcome back to the channel. This will be a quick one covering the recent round of shuttle diplomacy conducted by Trump between Russia and the Europeans and the Ukrainians. On August 15th, Trump met with Putin in Alaska and was widely denounced by both left and right wing media in the US as having, quote unquote, capitulated to Putin. And as usual, both wings are wrong. Trump didn't capitulate to Putin, he capitulated to the reality of the war. The most important fact of all is that Russia is winning this war. Yes, it's gaining ground very slowly, but it is still gaining ground. And more importantly, inflicting unsustainable losses on the Ukrainians. So, short of direct boots on the ground NATO intervention, the Russians will keep making gains both in territory and in Ukrainian body bags. So, whatever cards the US, the Europeans, and Ukrainians still have at this moment will just continue to dwindle. Time is not on their side. A bad peace now is preferable to an even worse peace in the future. Trump, unlike his European counterparts, still has the political flexibility to actually make a deal with Putin, or even just to be in the same room with the guy. This is because Trump, unlike his European counterparts, didn't base his entire foreign policy platform on the notion that Putin is the literal reincarnation of the Austrian painter. So he can still talk to the man face to face and not have to worry that it'll be the end of his political career. This means that Trump is the only leader in the Western world who can bring an end to this war before Ukraine collapses militarily and is forced at that point to capitulate to whatever demands Russia will have. And you can rest assured that those future Russian demands will be far worse for Ukraine than what Putin is asking for today. So, while Putin is obviously topping Trump, Trump is at least playing power bottom and has some agency left. The Europeans aren't even on the bed. They're sitting in the corner in the cuck chair, watching this all play out while crying over how Trump betrayed them in favor of Putin. It's pathetic. Truly the century of European humiliation. If Churchill or de Gaulle came back from the dead, they'd shoot themselves and be right back in the grave. But the man in the absolute worst situation is Zelensky. He truly has no cards to play and no room to maneuver. He's basically just a fun-sized mannequin with one word embossed on his forehead: ceasefire. He's not even bothering to demand NATO membership or Russian withdrawal to 1991 borders anymore, but he also doesn't dare make any real territorial concessions to Russia beyond what the Russians already occupy. So he's got nothing to offer in exchange for that ceasefire. So the fire won't cease, and more of his people will die. So, what happens now? I'm fairly confident that Trump will get the trilateral meeting between himself, Putin, and Zelensky that he's been working towards this whole time. Whether this meeting will achieve anything depends entirely on how much Zelensky is willing to budge, because he's the one with the weakest bargaining position. He has to meet Putin and Trump where they are. Trump and Putin will not go to him. So, if Zelensky is a true Ukrainian patriot, then he will sacrifice his political career and possibly his life by agreeing to Putin's minimalist terms. It's still unclear at this point what those minimalist terms are, since we've only ever heard Russia's maximalist terms. But I suspect that even the minimalist terms are so onerous as to make Zelensky the most hated man in Europe for agreeing to them. But it will end the war. And sometimes you just gotta take one for the team, or in this case, your entire nation. That's all for this video. I'm giving these shorter podcast style videos a try as they're the only way for me to keep up with current news. while producing everything myself in my spare time. Let me know what you think of this new shorter format covering the news, and I'll see you guys next time.